Spoiler warning, everyone. If you haven't seen the show, please, for the love of goodness sake, please watch it. Make sure that everything's fine and cool. And I hope I don't get demonetized for copyright claim, as this is just my opinion. None of this is true factor. And I hope you guys enjoy this long video. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Eli. And judging by the title of the video, wow. Just wow. If you hear a cat in the background, sorry, I have my little precious cat with me. Quit, lay down. You'll be okay. But anyways, sorry about that. But wow, what do I have to say about Spider-Man, the animated series? The Spider-Man 90s show. I don't know what to say much about. It's insane. A good insane, actually. I love it. I love it so much. Deep down in the bottom of my heart, I love it. What is my opinion on the show is that I love how they did with Peter Parker in general and his life with Mary Jane, his friends and all that. What was kind of shocking and new to me was that Harry Osborn was actually friends with Flash Thompson, and, not a friend as... But that's because the movie versions are getting me used to the, not the 616 Spider-Man, a different Spider-Man, I think the spectacular one, or the Ultimates, Ultimate Spider-Man. They're getting me used to the Ultimate Spider-Man movies and all that type of stuff, but this was shocking to me. What was kind of shocking to me as well is that they use Hobgoblin as the first main goblin, or the first goblin, and I think that was because of a trailer and commercial, and that they already sold toys. This is funnily shocking to me that all of this, the show and everything, was just an advertisement to sell toys, but it had the most perfect heart of all time in staying true to Spider-Man. It was cool. It was great. I loved it deep down in the bottom of my heart. And I decided to watch another show that we'll get into later as this is actually my second favorite Spider-Man show. God, I'm stumbling on my words again. But goodness gracious. There's so much to say about it. Realizing the fact that Mary Jane is not what she seemed, that she was actually turned out to be a clone and had the same ability and power as Hydro Man, that was crazy. I'm going to be moving my phone and moving myself around. Sorry if you're hearing noise in the background. I just had to let socks leave my room. But anyways, back to what I'm saying is that it was crazy how MJ and the rest of the people, just everyone else was just it was all over the place. I'm so speechless. Let's start with Venom and Carnage. That was one of my favorite episodes. One of my favorites. I'll tell you one of my favorite seasons, you'll see which one's my favorite season. But it was crazy seeing Carnage and Venom out there, and Venom was fighting Iron Man and War Machine. Spider-Man was just tagging along. And I love the problems that Spider-Man has with other people, and the problems that he has as a teenager and as Spider-Man at the same time. What was even more crazy to me and very heartbroken but very heartwarming was that he was married to MJ, but MJ was a clone for Hydro Man, like I just said a few seconds ago. Or a few minutes ago, it doesn't matter. But that was crazy to me. That was the most craziest thing I probably ever saw. The entire show was magnificent. And I like the part where Harry Osborn did take up the mantle as Green Goblin, but he's not as much as powerful as Norman Osborn, which is actually cool and interesting because they decided to go with the route of Norman Osborn being the first one, and then Harry. I kind of like that one better than Harry being the first one, and then Norman being the second one. Like it's just like that feels off to me. But I feel like it'll be cool when you do like the switcheroo. Sometimes I don't really mind, but it seems cool. Seems awesome. All right, and I'll get into the other parts of like the crossovers with other superheroes and especially the made up. I don't know if this is a made up superheroes, but there's these superheroes from Captain America had the lead. I forgot the name of them, but there were these groups of superheroes. God, it was so off and weird, but it was super cool. I liked it so much because it added new characters that I never heard or seen before. I don't know if they're in the comics or not, and they ever even met Captain America, but it was so cool for them to even be in the show in general. It was super cool. And then when we got to see like Red Skull and Captain America, it was awesome. I loved it so much. It was super cool. And then we also had like stuff with Iron Man. That was fun. I loved Iron Man, but he wasn't there for long. But it was very important because he's the main reason for the whole teleportation and the loss of Mary Jane and Green Goblin and all that stuff. Like it was crazy. What else? Yeah, I'm like I know I sound bored, but I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm like tired. Things has been rough today, but my goodness, what else is there to say? The part where this is my favorite one, the last season, where Spider-Man has to get a group of people and he has to learn how to be a leader for this group of team that is kind of like the Avengers but different, and they call it the Secret Wars. It's basically the Secret Wars. Who are in it were the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Captain America, of course Spider-Man, and Storm. That was really cool. I loved it. And then Black Cat was able to join in too. There was also other characters that were in the roster. There was like people like Morbius that was in it. And then there was Blade that was represented in the show. Who else? Daredevil. Oh my gosh, Daredevil in the show was fun. I loved it. I loved him in the show. There was Daredevil, and then obviously there's the Fantastic Four, and then there was there was the X-Men. Oh my gosh, the show with the X-Men, love it. I loved it. It was one of the coolest things ever. Like I have favorites now. Like it was cool, and it was really cool seeing the X-Men. It was fun, and the problems with Peter Parker's relationship with his friends, his family, and sometimes with his team, it was cool. Kurt Connors, also as the Lizard, was really fun. I liked him when he was like... I know it sounds weird, but since nobody had the rights to the Incredible Hulk, they decided to go with the Lizard. When he gets angry, he turns into the lizard monster, and, he has extra powers. Kind of like the Hulk, basically. They're no different. That's pretty interesting. I thought it was a smart idea since they can't get the official character. They were obviously not allowed to put guns into the show too, as that's not advertisement friendly. So everything was super futuristic. Like everything in the entire world was like futuristic tech. There was just shooting lasers and all that. They weren't allowed to shoot bullets or missiles, none of that, which was crazy. But I will admit that this entire show that I saw was a big, huge toy commercial at first. Probably season 3 or something. It was pretty much a toy commercial or just me watching it. But when you get more into it, the more it's very meaningful and it deserves to be one of the best animated shows I've seen. So I don't know, this one takes the cake to actually be in third place, actually, in one of my favorite animated shows. But we're going to talk about my second favorite, which everyone puts this at the first and, everyone's favorite Spider-Man show ever. This is my second favorite animated show. Specifically animated. Just animated. But it is the Spectacular Spider-Man. This This was the stuff. That was crazy. The blocky stuff and all that. The animations. Oh, I forgot to talk about the animation. The animations on the 90s version was a little bit cheap. So I could tell that there was a lot of like similar art styles or similar draws. But it was really cool. I love the art style. It was really awesome. I love it. The art style was great in my case. It's one of my favorite like looks and shading to it, I say. But the Spectacular Spider-Man is just a simple, blocky art style, and I kind of like that feeling. Yeah, it's probably not as better as the animated 90s show, but I still give it a pass for being really cool. Sadly, it only had probably one season on Netflix, and I was so happy to realize it was on Netflix. I was enjoyment, excitement was glee. Everything was cool, especially when Tombstone was basically more of a boss or a mob boss than just a flat out just criminal and stuff like that. It was really cool, and every single person in the show was great. They had more in depth with everything else, and they do really good with the relationships of Peter Parker has, like him having like 3 crushes. The third crush, like that is a teenager thing. Obviously, he had a thing for Liz, but but he also had a thing for MJ. Well, he had a thing for MJ at first, and then decided to have a thing with Liz, and then most likely he had a crush on Gwen, which was the relationship was weird and crazy, but it was pretty cute and fun. I liked it a lot. And it was really interesting. Harry Osborn, oh my gosh, I was shocked that they were able to even mention. I'm gonna be confident and actually say this. I hope I don't get demonetized, but they were confident to admit like drug abuse or addiction, pretty much. It's kind of like an alcohol type of addiction that he had. In the show, like, he had this weird ooze that turns him into the Green Goblin or makes him go crazy. But that was all a setup for Norman Osborn to be the Green Goblin, which was actually insane. It was crazy. All of this was, like, just planned out just from the beginning. And that was insane. It was really insane, and it was a lot of fun figuring this all out. And seeing Silver Sable, all of those characters, the villains, Rhino, the Sinister Six fighting the black suit Spider-Man. Oh my gosh, crazy. And Venom, automatically one of my favorite characters in that show, I will admit. At the end of the show, he was great. And it was cool to see him come back. Yes, there was the everyday life of Peter Parker and the everyday life of Spider-Man. And coolest thing ever is that Spider-Man kept a cure for a very long time until he decided not to do it because he knows that this world needs a Spider-Man. This world needs to do it. Bro, please, Disney, somebody, Sony, please, you guys have the rights. Get them back. Get the Spectacular show back. Find some voice actors that can actually do the part. And oh my goodness, just make it come back. I pray to God that one day this show will come back and actually will be a good show. And I feel like this will have a heart and take, and it's not going to be one of those shows, and I'm hoping it can't be one of those shows that's just like, oh, look, do you guys remember this guy in the comic book? Me neither, but we do it anyways for you guys. You like it, nerds? It's just like, it's something like that. I'd rather have like an official true story and meaning to it besides just, throwing a comic book character out there and just saying, wow, here you go, you have a character. But no offense to Disney, Sony, and whatever. Either way, love the show. I love every single one of these 2 shows. They are one of my favorite animated shows, but I have seen a little bit of Justice League, the animated series, and I might talk about that one day and one day soon. So I hope everyone has a good day. Sorry, this might have been my longest video I ever made, but I had fun spending time just doing this. So, hope everyone had a great day. I love this show, and I feel like everyone else should give a watch. If you guys have Netflix and Disney Plus, I suggest you go and watch the animated 90s show of Spider-Man on Disney Plus. And on the Netflix show, most definitely go watch the Spectacular Spider-Man. Netflix has been popping out with so many Spider-Man movies that will just make you cry. So at this point, go watch Netflix's Spider-Man movies. Start off with Spectacular Spider-Man, then work your way up to the 90s. It's pretty cool. I love it. So have a great day, everybody. Have a good time. Bye.